Iraq's government has ordered Kurdish Peshmerga forces to surrender military positions in the disputed city of Kirkuk. That's according to local news outlets. The KRG forces have reportedly been given a deadline until 2 a.m. local time to hand over military facilities and oil fields. Iraqi army and Peshmerga forces were facing off outside Kirkuk. Also, clashes have been reported between Peshmerga and Shia militias in a town nearby on Friday. Let's get a little more on this story. We're joined by Ahmed Rushdi. He's the director of the House of Iraqi Expertise Foundation. Ahmed, many thanks for joining us here on TRT World. What do you think is the message that the Iraqi government is sending to the KRG by this deadline of 2 a.m.?
Well, actually, what's happening is that the Iraqi government mentioned some sort of a deadline about the presence of the KRG forces, which means that KRG needs to work hard to explain to their people inside KRGs that they need to talk to the Iraqi government. The problem is that the deadline is very obvious, and it is according to the constitution, which means that the constitution said is that all the military actions is according to the central government. It's not concerning the regional or let's say provincial councils inside the Iraqi territory, which means that Mr. Abadi said clearly, it is according to the constitution. We are working hard to manage all our crises with KRG. Now, the most important thing is Kirkuk. We know all that Kirkuk is a very important city, not only because of the oil, but also because there are so many minorities there, especially the Turkmen, who are one of the builders of the Iraqi state. We all know that starting from the last century, the Turkmen had so many roles. They made so many roles to build up the state of Iraq. And according to that, the Iraqi state needs to protect the minorities, especially who are represented in Kirkuk and who are also managing to be inside the central government and inside the Iraqi parliament as a presence, as one of the important compartments of the Iraqi state.
So this is a tricky situation. All the players in a difficult position. What do you think is going to happen next?
Well, I think the Iraqi government will stick with the constitution, will stick with the work according to the constitution, do it on the legal way, start to manage things, not to raising up, raising up the situation in a way that there will be a fight, but it is according to the constitution. It is the right of the Iraqi government, troops, because Kirkuk is inside Iraq. It's not in the KRG. And we all know that it's according to the constitution, according to the Article 140, is that until now, these disputed area didn't manage to have the right to be either inside the government or inside KRG, which means it's still inside the government, inside Iraq, and it is controlled by the Iraqi government, and the parliament, which is headed by Salim al-Jubouri, said clearly, we made our decision. The resignation of the governor, Najmuddin Karim, he must resign. We made our decision. He's not suitable to rule Kirkuk, and we need the PUK to nominate another governor for Kirkuk.
Ahmed, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you briefly, do you think the Kurds in Iraq have overplayed their hand?
Yes, of course. I think they must respect the central government orders. They must respect the way that the Abadi managing things, which is according to the constitution, according to the legal way, or let's say according to the what the Iraqi state signed on starting from 2003, and what the Kurds signed on in 2003. They accepted the constitution first, and secondly, they took the budget, the 17% of the Iraqi budget, as managing the relation between Baghdad and Erbil.
Okay.
Now, from 2003 until 2015, it's supposed to be that we are managing our problems between Baghdad and Erbil.
Okay, Ahmed, I appreciate your time. Ahmed Rushdi there from the Iraqi Expertise Foundation.